Li Auto is going to join in on the battery swap network. And many of you guys probably didn't know that, but Li Auto CEO founder Li Xiang is actually one of the earliest investors into NIO. All right, he was a founding investor in NIO, and he was actually on stage to present the first ever ES8 back in 2017 when they first launched the ES8. And he's also an ES8 owner. So before he even started Li Auto, the company, he was a investor in NIO. He was a top executive at NIO, and he was also a car owner. And he praised the car, of course, and he said how great the first gen ES8 was. And of course, afterwards, he had to leave that position. He's still a founding investor, but he started his own company, Li Auto, right? And so there's that deep connection that's still there, and he still has his ES8, of course. But what's also very interesting was back in Beijing Auto Show, just in May of this year, of course, the two of them met up again, NIO CEO and Li Auto CEO Li Xiang, and they were sitting in the ET7, the one with the rear screens, and they were discussing and all sorts of stuff, praising how great this car is and how it's going to really take customers from the 5 Series, from BMW, etc. And of course, when they exited the car, and they talked about how the Li Auto Omega isn't selling too well. It's pretty hard to do pure electric. From Li Xiang, he said that. And NIO CEO said, you guys really got to consider joining in on the battery swap alliance. And Li Auto CEO said, yeah, of course. So that was the first hint that something was in the works, right? And then quite recently, we got confirmation from someone in the know that they are indeed going to join in on battery swap. There's 2 confirmations from Li Auto CEO himself, and also apparently an executive from Li Auto. And he said that it's internal information. They're worried that the I series of cars won't sell that well. So they're going to have an I series of cars for Li Auto. They're worried it's not going to sell that well, so they're going to join in on battery swap. And it's kind of a win-win situation for both parties, for Li Auto as well and for NIO. And of course, Li Auto can also build out swap stations. And of course, the comments also suggested from the same guy that if things, they already built out a lot of charging stations, and if worse comes to serve, they can also build swap stations along with NIO, and that's a really win-win situation for both parties. Very, very interesting. But what about the confirmation from Li Auto CEO? Well, Li Auto CEO has said that the reason the Model 3, Model Y, and ES6, they have similar range, 420 kilometers, and they're very similarly priced, but why do they sell really, really well? Well, of course, we have to look at the charging network, right? Tesla has the supercharging network, which is very expansive, and that's one of the big purchasing reasons for a Tesla car. Whereas for a NIO ES6, of course, the swapping network, he praised the swapping network, saying how vast it is, and it's becoming more and more common that lots of people buying electric cars don't actually have the condition or ability to install home chargers, and then this public charging is also quite a pain in the butt sometimes. And something like a Tesla supercharger or a NIO battery swap station really solves that problem for them. So, there's Li Auto CEO praising battery swap himself, right, saying how great it is for selling cars, and then also, he used to be a founding investor in NIO, and also he said, of course, when considering to join in on battery swap. So it seems like it's going to happen. And the question is, all right, so the I series for Li Auto is probably going to be pure electric. So they're probably not going to have an EREV that can also do battery swap. That kind of makes things way too complicated, right? You got a generator, you got a gas tank, and you got a swappable battery. It's just too much in one package. So it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Whereas their pure electric I series cars will have that battery swap mechanism. And what's very interesting is this I series appears to not be the M series. All right, so hear me out. M series are about to come out in 2025, early 2025, and these are these pure electric SUVs and cars from Li Auto, but that car will not be able to do battery swap because it's already in the late stages of development. They've already developed this car, and it's just too late to add battery swap into the car. It just doesn't make sense. They can't do it. Whereas the I series, which will be the next platform, so very soon, all right, the next platform of cars may be launched in 2026 or 2027. Those will have NIO's battery swap and be able to do battery swap as well. So you're seeing confirmation that this is definitely going to happen. All right, and I think the situation with Mega sort of solidified the fact that they have to join in on battery swap. And Li Auto CEO said during the auto show back in May that without a very strong network, charging network, it's just almost impossible to sell pure electric cars. Right? It's almost impossible. It's not like EREVs where you can use gas and everything. Pure electric is really hard, according to Li Auto CEO. So really, they got to rely on something like a battery swap network. So it seems like they're all heading in the right direction. Of course, we're seeing so many other partners, right? All these other partners, they're also coming out with cars that will be able to do battery swap on the NIO Swap network. And this is all great news, right? And Xiaomi as well. Xiaomi's CEO is also a founding investor in NIO and has all the chips on the table that he wants to see his electric car succeed. And what better to do than to join in on battery swap? And he said himself, Xiaomi CEO, that their next car will also be able to do battery swap. So future generations of Xiaomi cars will also be able to do battery swap. Li Auto's pure electric cars will also be able to do battery swap. Geely, Jidu, all these other guys, they're going to have cars that can do battery swap down the line using NIO Swap network. So really, NIO Swap is becoming the go-to gas station of the EV age, so to speak, right? And infrastructure is worth a lot of money. All right, that infrastructure is going to be a huge factor in the success of the company, right? And going down the line, even if NIO doesn't sell the car to the customer, if the customer buys another car that can do battery swap, NIO still earns a share of the profit. How crazy is that? That's the dream. That's the dream, and it's going to happen. It's pretty much confirmed. We got so many partners. More partners to come. Li Auto is going to join in. Very, very nice. As always, stay safe, stay healthy. Peace out.